Human survival depends on communication and collaboration. In order to collaborate, we need to communicate and to find a safe space where we dare to communicate. I'm going to do an introduction to the map of time, which I have constructed with the ideas of many colleagues, especially from the FEPTO task force. When we work with conflicts, we have found that we think that we are in the same space, in the same time, just because we happen to be in the same room. The map of time is a help to orientate. Are we in the same time and not only in the same space? This is a safe space, a space where I can communicate, be myself and not be afraid to be punished. Safe space can be a room, but doesn't have to be a room. It can be wherever, that we go out for a walk or we sit in the car. But I feel safe. In order to do that, of course, I need to know that I will not be punished for what I'm saying. The safe space deals with the present. Leading up to being active. This is the past, as you can see. And this deals with the future. In the past, when we deal with the past, when we deal with conflicts, everyone wants to start off how we are different, how we differ. We don't look at similarities. And if we want the conflict to increase, please do look at the differences. We will always end up with the conflict being worse. But if we want to find and create a safe space, it is very wise to look at the similarities first. And here we have the option to look at the differences. What happened in the past, what happens in a family or in a community, we can deal with the past, but what happens is that we cannot change the past. We can only change how we perceive the past. But we put in a lot of energy to be reactive instead of being active. To be reactive is not putting a lot of progress into something. When we deal with the future, we can be proactive. In my country, I come from Sweden, we are tremendously pragmatic. So we deal with, this is the reality of time. This is the here and now, the past, the present and the future. And we want to do all sorts of goals here. And the goal can be what we have next on the agenda, it can be planning, it can be drawing plans. And very often on this reality basis, we don't have very creative ideas. What we have found out that a lot of people don't give to their children because they live in a vulnerable situation is a hope and visions and different experiences, narratives, books, stories. And with what we really need, all of us, but certain people need it more than us, is to be able to dream, to dare to have dreams that still might not be on a reality basis. These dreams will be very much based on our visions, on our values, on scenario building, storytelling, sharing of experiences. This is what we do automatically with our children. We make them tell stories about what they want to become in the future, and if we have, we dream about the past, and we talk about their grandmothers, and we are showing them the world, but also the world of fantasy, because if we can create this, we create a creative space. And this is also a creative space. The children are afraid of a lion being under their bed. Mother can come in and she says, "Oh, where's the lion? Where's the lion? Oh, I saw him. Oh, he ran out. He ran out. Oh," or whatever. We can talk about ghosts. We can talk about anything. This is an ability that we have that we very often forget about, because we are adults and everyone is taking us seriously, so we don't have the time to dream and build fantasies. So we build our own fantasies, and within a family we might have totally different fantasies. Someone is talking about the reality, what we will do in vacation, someone will talk about the past, someone will be here and now, and someone will be in their dreams. When we work with disadvantaged people, and this can be people who live separately from a society, it can be you being refugees, it can be living in a mental hospital, it can be being homeless. You still will have your dreams, but you don't dare to pronounce them. And when you have a safe space, you can start to envision things that you really want to happen in life. Now, if you would say you have never been to school and you were a refugee, and you suddenly say, "I want to become a doctor," and you are 26 years old, the whole community will say, "How good for you! You have reached the goal, hallelujah." And then it becomes too much for you. You become tired. So what we have found is that when we take a dream, we don't stop at the reality level. We look at the first step. What is a partial goal? If you want to become a doctor, perhaps the first partial goal will be to find out about adult education so that you can do the basic years that you need. Never kill anyone's dreams. We were not paid as professionals to kill people's dreams. When we work with conflicts, we expand upon the similarities, and if we look at the similarities, we'll always find something when we look on visions and values. It can be how we want to live in the community, it can be how we want to live in a family. Even couples that come for family therapy, they come in and they are fighting and they want to divorce. You start to ask them about what were the values that you brought to your children. They will always look at each other and they will smile and they will start to tell. And after that we can talk about more difficult issues. So the map of time does not follow any special methodology. What we do is that we draw something like this, or we print the map, put it in plastic. We have it close to us so that when we talk about something, we see, are we in the same space? Are we now in the place, this is a playground for visions and values, or are we in fact talking about what is going to happen? What is the first part goal? And what are the strategies to acquiring the goal? So if we go directly to the goal, from here to here, as I've explained before, it can become too much for the person who is sharing their dreams. And in fact, they get so tired, they cross out the goal and they go home and have a good sleep instead. But if we say, oh, how good that now you know your goal, now what is the first step? We will see that this will lead to a loop of change and transformation. And someone was saying they were using the map of time to a teenager, and they said, your goal is to finish high school. Remember, this is like a road. You don't go with your car straight ahead, but you will have little flags coming up. Don't study, go to the movie instead. And this person said, but remember, when you get off the road, you can always get on the road, etc. You can use this exactly the way that you like it. It's just brought to be a tool.